Hello, my friends. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Russian Filmic in the USA. Today we have three very important, very interesting, very wonderful and funny guests. We have Steve Haisman, Clive Howard, and of course, Slava Polunin. We're talking today about Slava's journey, Secrets of the Snow. So without further ado, the first question I guess we'll ask the directors. The first question will be, when was the first time you saw Slava Snowshow? And after seeing it, did you right away know that you would like to make a documentary about this incredible experience?
So we had a friend who was in the show in the South Bank in London in the Royal Festival Hall. We were invited. I didn't know anything about the show or anything, and we were invited to come along, and we were invited backstage. Almost immediately, I was captivated, and we both were, and that's when our journey began. Interesting, because I've never approached a show from backstage before, but immediately with all the clowns getting ready and the whole preparation of it, it was stunning and beautiful. And the next day we came with cameras and we started to film. And at that stage, we had no idea why we were filming. We just had to.
Steve, go ahead.
Yes, I have a confession. I hadn't actually seen Snowshow until we started filming, because when Clive went and filmed the Snowshow, and then we went to Slava's home in Mulan Jun, and that was what really struck me as being so extraordinary. And then when he said that he's going to go and take Snowshow to the Russian Arctic, then that's when we thought, that's the film. We've got to make that.
I'd like to ask you about Mulan Jun. Can you share a couple of things about your experience at Mulan Jun?
It's so difficult because we entered, and that's the gates were a start of a journey. Then we went down a path. Then we met Slava. Then we were taken on another journey down a red path. It's so difficult to describe that first day. I thought we had the dinner, and I thought they put magic mushrooms in the stroganoff because I couldn't sleep. I was my mind was so confused and overwhelmed, I guess, that first day, and that experience of that extraordinary life that has been created, not just with Snowshow but the whole life around it, is what our film is about. It's trying to captivate that journey. In essence, yeah.
Steve, go ahead.
Yes, one of the things that Slava says in our film is that here, meaning his home, the normal world is not normal. And that's one thing which struck us immediately. It's a combination of interactive gallery, of performance space, of natural world, and everything all governed by this strong artistic sensibility.
When we filmed initially, Slava was very distant. I didn't want to disturb him. But then eventually I was invited over, and my first introduction to him was on an iPad. And I sat down, and he showed me the iPad, and he just invited me to look. And he was flicking through these extraordinary images, one after the other. People dressed in blue on a mountain, in green on a boat, all around the world, these extraordinary images. And I said, is this a festival? And Slava said, no, this is my life.
Слава, у меня к вам вопрос. Расскажите нам чуть-чуть про Mulan Jun, что это такое. Я понимаю, что это какая-то отдельная вселенная.
Разговор склонился к тому, что нашим режиссерам пора выпускать новый фильм про другую часть жизни, которая называется «Желтая мельница». Ну ладно, чуть-чуть мы туда залезем, потому что это все похоже на то, что происходит внутри самого снежного шоу и вокруг него. Наверное, главное слово, которым можно это описать, наверное, это фантазия. Все, что происходит в моей жизни и в моих каких-то проектах, это переполнено фантазией. Я обязательно хочу, чтобы мир был особым, не серым, цветным, чтобы в нем постоянно происходили чудеса, и чтобы мы их из каждой детали жизни открывали. И поэтому «Снежное шоу» — это есть такой инструмент для того, чтобы несколько десятков клоунов и друзей радостно, живя в этом мире, помогли другим сделать так же. И вот «Снежное шоу», все, что проходит вокруг него, мельницы, все, что происходит вокруг нее, это такие чудесные, даже не знаю, как сказать, где вот птиц сохраняют, это самое, животных. Заповедники. Это такой заповедник чудес, где люди живут особым образом. И мельница 20 лет назад появилась на свет, и сейчас вот на этот год я запланировал, что каждые 2 недели значит, этого лета я буду делать новый праздник. И это происходит постоянно.
Can I just add something?
Please.
Slava's home, Mulan Jun, reminds me very much of Andy Warhol's factory in the 60s, which is like a magnet, a hub for all kinds of creative artists and technicians who all are somehow attracted there.
How was it to survive the coldest winter in 1,000 years?
It was life-changing. It's brought about a love of snow and cold because we completely understand, being there, where Slava's art came from.
Somehow we were just taken with the snow. It cold. It was -40. There's a scene of the green clowns wondering, have we got that picture, Steve?
I don't know if I'm technically able to.
Maybe we we had it all perfectly thing. We could share our images and everything. But there's one, I think, on the poster, and it's certainly part of the film, where our lovely green clowns, about 8 or 9 of them, on a frozen lake at arc angles, and all shivering and thing. But somehow it was like exactly where they should be and where we should all be. In fact, the whole experience, because defied our expectations of Moscow, St. Petersburg. It was at once familiar, but and again, completely foreign. It was, but they're both things at once. And somehow there was this wonderful area in between, which was quite beautiful. And we just so much enjoyed Russia. We so much enjoyed that whole journey.
But yes, Steve.
Yes, I was going to say that it was unbelievably cold. And so we had to leave our cameras in the hall, because when you go out to film something, then you come back into the warmth, and you'd have a lot of problems of condensation. It's like when you're going into a submarine, you have to leave it in the cooling lock. And so when we went out onto the ice, we didn't know if we were going to go there, because we had asked Slava, can we go out there, please? Can we all go out onto the ice? And he said, yes, 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 yes. And then we're sitting around in the lobby of the hotel, and Slava suddenly appears with all of the clowns fully dressed, saying, right, we're going in 1 minute. 1 minute, we're going onto the ice. So we had to just run, grab all of our equipment. We didn't have any plan. We just had to follow Slava, and we were literally running to film them. And sometimes one of my best memories is Clive running backwards trying to film, and then he fell over, and Slava just steps over him and laughing as well.
Slava, I'm a clown based in Perth, West Australia. I have found myself in a space where I'm depressed and lost. Is there any guidance you can give towards finding joy out of dark times?
Очень просто. Я сейчас как раз читаю лекцию для таких потерянных душ на системе, которая называется TED. Так что можете посмотреть на английском языке. Моя лекция называется «Счастье дурака».
Stephen Clive,
yes.
And Slava, how did filming work on a train? Did the cramped space help you or hinder the filming?
Well, it was extraordinary, actually, because we, I don't know, do we admit this now? I'll admit it now, that we had no permits, we had no permissions. but an extraordinary door opens when Slava walks through it. And so let's just say we followed the fools, like fools, and where fools go, joy and happen, and madness can ensue, and nothing will stop it.
The train itself was very much like a kind of a mobile performance space, where, because one of the things about Slava is there's no real distinction between his life and his performance. It's all performance. And so it's wonderful. Everybody had their different little carriages. And as Clive was saying, we were very worried about having no permits. Because everybody says, you've got to have a permit, got to have a permit. But everybody on the train was so helpful, so supportive, and just lovely.
Как только мы вошли в поезд, мы, конечно, взяли целиком вагон, чтобы не иметь сложностей, если вдруг кому-то не понравится, потому что мы живем очень странным способом. И мы сразу же все переделали и сделали это живым и уютным по нашему пониманию. Везде развесили все, засыпали все. В общем, сделали из вагона праздник. Значит, проводницы сначала широко раскрывали глаза и рот. Какое-то время стояла столбняком, но через 3-5 минут они уже поняли, что праздник на их застиг на целые сутки, и они с удовольствием вместе с нами отправились в это путешествие.
I think that for many, if you're a tired commuter, then the idea of getting into a carriage which is full of clowns playing trumpets is possibly the worst thing you could possibly get into. And then also the amount of mess which Slava and all the clowns made would get us arrested in England. But I think the thing is that Slava is so popular, everybody loves him so much that he's able to do this. And as you say, all of the train staff were very happy to have us there.
How did you choose such an incredible narrator as Nargis for the Russian and Helen Bonham Carter for the English version?
Well, it was fairly simple. They're enormous fans of the Snowshow and Slava. So we met Helen Bonham Carter at the Royal Festival Hall, where she would go every year, bringing 10 or so of her neighbours' children with her, and then she would come to the backstage and party. So she did all of that voiceover for no money, just for the love of trying to help us with our film. And Steve, you can tell the story of Nargis.
Yes, I think that with Helena Bonham Carter is really the connection with Alice in Wonderland, her role in that, which helped a lot for us to attract her. Then with Nargis, we met her at Mulan Jun when Slava had invited her over, because he had a festival of weddings or celebrations, and so she was part of that, and so we met her there and recognized that she was in many ways a clown or a kindred spirit herself, although she works in music. And so we asked her if she would do the Russian narration, which she's done a great job, really good.
And if you ever have the luck to meet Helen Bonham Carter, you'll see that she has the mischievous heart of a clown too.
Yes.
Slava?
И по поводу Наргиз то же самое. Она по поводу небольшого, он сказал, по поводу небольшого фестиваля. Ну, конечно, небольшой. Всего 800 невест и 800 женихов реальных слетелись со всего мира, чтобы все вместе отпраздновать свой, значит, свой праздник. И Наргиз, к тому же, у меня есть еще Мировая академия дураков, где я президент, и она приехала, чтобы поступить в эту академию, чтобы в конце концов добиться настоящего стопроцентного, значит, чтобы она была стопроцентной дурой.
The film uses the footage from the show. What extent is it a concert film?
It's not really. It's not a concert film. We tried to evolve. Well, we did, I think, evolve a way of showing the film in a completely unique way. Showing the show